starting out the 2021 season on the Bass Pro Tour.
The Red Crest 2021 champion!
You know, I was super pumped up, and little did I know, things changed quick.
Coronavirus.
Countries around the world have now reported more than 1 million coronavirus cases.
911, what's your emergency?
You're probably wondering what the heck's going on. You just hold on for the next few minutes, and I'll tell you about the love of my life. Bass fishing, championship style.
When it comes to off the water, two anglers are best of friends.
Oh, I know I'm the best.
Jacob Wheeler in contention for Angler of the Year.
Every grade in every single sport, if you watch them, they're oozing with confidence.
It doesn't matter if they're friends, they've got to try to win. Dustin Connell, the 2021 Red Crest champion.
This is what I live for. Like, I love this.
Let's face it, he kind of, just what you alluded to, kind of was in Wheeler's shadow there for a little bit.
9th place over in Group B tomorrow, but he's got to make that knockout round or it's Wheeler.
He's got one of the biggest wins in his career, so it's anybody's game. Who's going to make it on top here today?
Why ain't y'all breathing after them stairs?
Hey, darling.
You busy?
I'm about to do an interview real quick with guys from.
Okay.
So let me holler back at you after it. How about that?
Right, sounds good.
I love you. Bye.
At the beginning of the year, where was your head at going into the season, and how are you feeling?
Every year you get done with the season, you know, last year, you know, we went deer hunting and you got all this time off to prep and just get everything ready for the season to start.
The Red Crest 2021!
You know, just qualifying for that Red Crest tournament in itself is really tough to do. You have to finish in the top 40 in our field. These guys are the best in the world, and just being there is a treat. But to win it, it's just, you know, after I won that tournament, I mean, I still today have to pinch myself. That week was very magical. It did not happen the way I wanted it to. It wasn't an easy week for me. You know, I started out, practice was tough, and then it just kind of, everything just happened for a reason. So Red Crest originally was gonna be in Oklahoma at Grand Lake. They moved it because of the weather. They thought the weather was going to be really bad there, so they said, all right, let's move it down south. So then it was going to be at Lake Palestine in Texas, and so I go over there and I go practice, and it was super cold, and it was in winter time. It was in like January. I went to go practice, drove 11 hours over there to go practice, and what do you know, a big ice storm came through.
We want to get to that disaster in Texas.
This morning, the humanitarian crisis in Texas is accelerating. Millions still without power or water.
And on the roadways, it's especially treacherous as well. We know that not just here in Texas, but in neighboring Oklahoma and in other southern states as far as Mississippi, there have been numerous accidents.
So that changed, and then 2 days before we knew where to go, they said Lake Eufaula, which Eufaula is in Alabama. I live 2 hours from there. And when I found that out, I was like, okay, this could be pretty good. And you know, I'm not very familiar with Lake Eufaula, but it feels like home to me. I can leave my house, be there in 2 hours, and I was really excited to get out there. You know, it was in July, and you know, the season's full swing. I've got a tournament coming up. So I leave New York and I come home. I was gonna be home for about a month. I left my truck and boat up there with the intentions of, you know, going back up there and being able to fish Lake Champlain. And little did I know, things changed quick. You know, I ended up catching COVID. And at first it was like, hey, you know, you're gonna be all right. You know, there's a lot of people that get over this deal, and I feel like I was a really healthy individual, and I was like, all right, we're gonna be fine. And, you know, it kind of rocked along for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and then before I know it, you know, I got my buddy, he's taking care of me, my buddy Wes, and he's like, hey man, you're gonna be good. You know, he's checking on me and whatnot, and then out of nowhere, it was just like, bam. Breathing got kind of tough on me, and I ended up having to go to the hospital. And it was a scary deal for me. You know, I ended up going to the hospital, and they told me I had double pneumonia.
On the medical watch tonight, pneumonia and COVID-19.
Pneumonia is an infection of the air sacs in the lungs, typically caused by a bug, bacteria, or influenza.
Severe COVID-19 is pneumonia.
Dr. Benjamin Singer knows pneumonia. He's been studying it for years. But with COVID-19, it's different.
So I was actually, you know, I got out of the hospital and I was at the house, and, you know, I'm just kind of laid up. I couldn't do much. So what do you know? Turn on MajorLeagueFishing.com, and I'm sitting there watching Jacob.
That one blew up. God.
And he called me the day before championship round. I was like,
man, you're gonna be good, man. You know, just going through COVID, and
he's like, man, that's for you, DC, and
man, the guy,
so it means a lot, you know. Even while he's out there competing, about to win a tournament, he's like, hey, got to check on my boys, you know. So and Mark, you know, Mark ended up catching COVID also, so we both missed you know, that tournament. But for him to win, without us there, it kind of stunk. But I'm glad to see him hoist another trophy.
All right, y'all, we've made it here. We're actually north of Detroit, Michigan, but St. Clair, final event of the season. And I'm always trying to prepare for the next event. But this thing with DC and myself and Mark and the whole crew being here, I got to look out for the whole crew and have enough tackle. I have a ton of stuff in my boat. I got the bugs. I got everything that I need. Bandito bugs, Kraken craws, drop shot baits, every different kind of thing. But you got to have it all on backup. What you can't put in the boat is right here. So I got bags upon bags of plastic. Just, you got to have it ready to go. So that's what it is. You got to be prepared. We are prepared this week, but there's a lot of line. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and sort of seeing what the fish are going to be doing. We have a little cool front. Should be, I got a feeling they're going to be biting.
Okay.
This is backup.
Yeah, that's backup?
That's just backup. I got everything else in the
boat. It's
boat.
not backup for you, it's backup for him and you.
It's backup, and this is not even normal. Normally I have a full box of Googan, Googan baits like this, a full tub like this. But I was like, man, I'm going to consolidate. I normally bring 2 tubs. But this is like literally.
You're actually going to use these?
No, but that's why you bring them. It's backup. It's just in case it happens. So, like, you got jabberjaws, swim trailers, crankbaits, so many different things, skirts. So, like, if you got a skirt color that's like, okay, listen, like, they might be buying that pink colored one. Who knows? Maybe that's what I want to do. Punch baits, different stuff. Like,
it's like 10 pounds of skirts.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be prepared. Look. Okay, look. You never know. Color does not matter, though, by the way. But that's why I have this 100 different colored skirts. But you got it all. You got.
Ready for the crappie dangle?
I mean, that's exactly right. You got some green pumpkins. You got some pinks for smallmouth. Cotton cannies. You know, you don't know what the watercolor is going to be like. You don't know if you actually catch a fish and like a crawdad comes out and it looks like that. So all of a sudden you can match him, and all of a sudden you win the tournament on that bait. So it's all about confidence.
This is why this guy wins all the time, and why I watch him win.
This is all smoke and mirrors, actually.
Made it to the house. We're here. hanging out, rigging all these rods up. We got to go find some smallmouth tomorrow. That's the goal. I have not been here. I ain't been here in like 4 years. Well, I take that back. Last year I came here for like half a day. So I ain't been here in 4 years. Ain't much changed, and big smallmouth are biting. We got to find them. This is the last tournament of the year. Super pumped up. I missed the last tournament at Champlain, and somebody that we know won the tournament. We gotta be glad I wasn't there. So, St. Clair, here we are.
Dude, you don't ever know. This is the thing about tournament bass fishing. You just never know how things are going to play out. You know, your equipment has to hold up. You have to find the fish. The conditions can change what you're going to do, how do you adapt to those conditions, how the fish, how are they going to change. This is what I love about the sport. There's always constant change, and you have to be able to adapt accordingly. And the people that don't, they fail, fall down. The people that do always are towards that top. You see those guys consistently doing well, and those are the things you have to think about. But it's a very unique sport, and there's always something that keeps you coming back for more.
Alright, today is the first day of practice. It's good to be back because I was not at the last derby. So it feels really good to be back. St. Clair, practice. Gotta find them. There's a lot of riding on this tournament, but I mean, Jay does fishing for AOY. I mean, I'm fishing to try to win. You know, $100,000 would be nice. Late in the season. Be a nice little cap to the season. Plus, it's going to be a bunch of big smallmouth caught, and I love catching big smallmouth, but I ain't did it in 2 months. So we're going to go out there and practice today. I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I don't really know which side of the lake I want to fish. The wind is just, we got a west wind today, so everything will be kind of protected. Saturday when I fish, it's a south-southwest wind, which is completely opposite. It's like, so on the American side, any kind of south wind is just bombarded and everything. There'll be like 7-footers out there. You know, the first day of practice, it was really windy, like super windy. And I roll out there on Lake St. Clair, and my whole intention, my whole game plan for this tournament was to stay on St. Clair, use my electronics, and catch smallmouth. And if I can find a few key areas on the lake, then that will separate me from a lot of guys. You know, I love fishing the rivers, I love fishing current, but I know if I find a group of smallmouth, it's gonna be tough to beat. So that was my initial game plan, but the wind changed that really, really quick. You can not hardly sit out there. I mean, you would literally get seasick. Dude, they're out here, I see them. It's so windy and wavy, I can't even get over here. Come here, bro. They out here, I see them. Quite a few of them. He might keep. I'm seeing a decent amount of them on the graph. So I don't know, we'll see. We went a mile without a bite. We've caught 2, bam, bam, 2 drops. The kicker this week is playing the wind, okay? So when it blows on Lake St. Clair, or any Great Lakes for that matter, you do not want to be on the other end of that because it will be 5, 6, 7, 8 footers. And there's so much more that goes into these tournaments than just going out there and casting your line. You know, I'm trying to find fish, I'm trying to find a pattern. And when I can't get a pattern going, because I know in practice will be different from the tournament, you gotta adjust really, really quick. So practice was practice. Man, it feels real good to be back. I did not make the last tournament. I'm just glad I can breathe good. I can. I know. Good grief. No, it feels really good to be back, man. This is where I belong. This is where we belong, man. This is where we belong. We belong cooking these poppers and
eating rock bass.
Eating rock bass.
All them times they ate our Cinco's, we're dog cussing them.
We're eating them now. I promise you this, I went through a lot to get here. And no matter how this tournament ends up, I'm so glad to be back. Like, very grateful.
Rock bass?
Well, day one, sort of, it's crazy to think about, you know, being in this position right now. 10 years ago, I started my career. I'm 30 years old, and I'll be 31 here in just a handful of days. So it's crazy to be in this position right now. You sort of, sometimes life comes at you so fast, you don't have time to step back and reflect and like appreciate it, but there's just a time you just, it's just a blessing to be out here fishing for a living. You know, that's, now we got to take our, last few years we've caught them good, but man, we have an opportunity. We got to do our part. Let's get it done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just enjoy getting out there and competing. I do. I think it's going to go down today. Hopefully we don't have a bumpy start like these roads. So this is DC's first tournament back from COVID. Man, it was it's cool to have the group back. There is something special, regardless of the outcome. There is truly like a brotherhood. I mean, DC is like a brother to me. It truly is. Same thing with Mark and Adrian, but we talk all the time. We're just buddies, man. And at the end of the day, he fishes tomorrow, so he has a little bit different conditions. He's sleeping right now. He hit the snooze button a couple times this morning. Mark is fishing today, but I don't know. We're gonna see. He sounded like he's on a little bit of something. I don't know what he's gonna do though. You know, it's. But regardless of all that, it really is. I can't tell you guys how awesome it is to have everybody back. It truly is a brotherhood, and it's just nice to be able to go back, BS, have a good time, you know, fry up some fish. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it just, there is some, outside of my support group, my family, those are my dudes. You know what I'm saying? My direct family, they are family, you know, and that's what, when you don't have them around, it's a little bit of a weird deal. It was a weird vibe. It wasn't a vibe, it was a weird feeling last tournament. You know, had a good event, won the event, but it was weird not having my boys there, so everything feels like we're back to normal.
Group A, their first qualifying day at St. Clair, fun fishery, a place that the Bass Pro Tour has never been. Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit's been there in the past, a lot of other organizations. JT, wind, weather, big factors anytime you come up north, especially this time of the year. What do you expect weather-wise, and as far as the wind is concerned in particular this week?
Well, I've spent a lot of time at Lake St. Clair, at Lake Erie, at a lot of these different places. And this time of the year, when you start getting into that September time frame, you start getting a lot of southwest wind, and we're going to have that today too. Luckily though, it's going to be really light. These guys are going to have a Chamber of Commerce type day to fish. Now, the one thing about our fishery is that we're only fishing the U.S. waters. So a lot of Lake St. Clair and a lot of Lake Erie is going to be off limits, but still what they have to fish is absolutely excellent, and the weather is going to allow them to run wherever they want today. I think you're going to see some big catches.
Marty, it's going to be a couple of days before we really start to whittle things down as far as the Angler of the Year race is concerned. But coming in, Ott Defo is your leader. He has a 12-point lead on Jacob Wheeler.
Ott Defoe's in the driver's seat. If he makes it to the championship round, we're going to crown him the AOY no matter what the rest of the group does.
Wheeler's won back-to-back on the Bass Pro Tour. You'd be nuts to pick against him anywhere anytime right now because Jacob Wheeler has been as hot as any angler on the planet. Back-to-back wins on the Bass Pro Tour, 3 wins this year, but can he get the win he really wants? Angler of the Year.
7,
lines in on
6,
Wheeler.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lines in. The game third.
.932. I'm gonna say, I have not looked at Score Tracker. They've been fishing for 32 minutes. I'm gonna say 16 pounds is leading, and the cut weight is 7 pounds. That's what I'm gonna say. The cut weight is 0 pounds. It's 0 pounds. That means that 22 guys have not caught a bass in 30 minutes on St. Clair. That's bad. That's not good.
What's Mark have?
I don't think he's got anything. No, he ain't got a bass. Found out he's in Group A, and I can't believe that. Did we tell y'all that? So Mark thought he was in Group B. All week, Mark thought he was in Group B. And so he practiced for Group B, like played to win for Group B, because it's going to be chopping tomorrow. It's literally like 0 mile an hour right now. It's not even blowing. Slick calm on St. Clair. Mark was out there practicing for like 25 mile an hour winds. He's in Group A, he's fishing today. He found out at 10 o'clock last night.
As we approach 5 minutes left, we move back to Wheeler. He's just had a couple of events where he really struggled.
But still going to have a strong showing here, and he's on pace too.
One more scoreable gets Wheeler over 100 pounds. He'd become the 3rd angler to do that.
That drive in me to compete, to work hard, to never be outworked, that is truly the most important thing to me. And I work hard and I give everything that I have. I can walk away from every event knowing, no matter how I finished, that I did everything in my power to give myself a chance to win that event.